Now in the F-260 Warrior, and I'm going to let him just get the airplane in the air, just low transition, and gets the landing gear up. We'll let him accelerate and start to climb, and he actually doesn't start exactly, he's around 2,000 feet, but we got some music we can play as he's climbing. Chuck is trained as an engineer, grew up in Pennsylvania. Matter of fact, Chuck and I, turns out we grew up within about 12 miles of each other. They graduated from San Diego State. He got his first FAA letter of unlimited aerobatic competency in 1974, and for many years led Team America. Very successful, award-winning formation aerobatic military-style maneuver, performed in an airplane that actually qualifies as a general aviation airplane, a typical airplane that I would fly. He calls it the Warrior of the Stage. You watch the vertical rolls as he takes the plane straight up, and then on top you see the airplane just sort of bluff. There's no lift left at that speed. It's almost a ballistic flight. And we'll watch him as the nose comes down, and he starts up with the F-260 a 260 horsepower engine, sometimes replaced by a 300, and it's a light-going engine. You can get parts for this off the shelf. A fine flying airplane, and Chuck flies it from the right seat, and just because he wants to have the throttle in his left hand. Allowing the airplane to accelerate, you can hear it. It's very quiet. And the ground attack mode. Up over the top in a very broad barrel roll, and we'll watch him as he continues all the way around, and he'll be going out to the left side and performing something that you're going to see absolutely see your ears back. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Watch him as he takes the plane up, does the roll on the way up, and let him pull the nose up, and he calls this the gunster reverse. Again, that this can all be flown on the flight simulator at home. This is a hammerhead. You know, if you can have somebody who's chasing you, and you can slow down enough so they're almost falling out of the sky, then reverse course like that, you can hose them real good. Wait until you see the Super Hornet in just a few minutes. As Chuck comes up in front of us, he lets us see the bottom side of the airplane. There's the opposing knife edge, so you can see the top of the wings of the F-260 Warrior, and then finally he rolls it out in the 4-view pass. A re-engaged turn. Now this is a 1/2 Cuban 8. This is also used for a bombing maneuver called a loft, where you can actually toss the bomb downrange, and before it can even hit the ground, you've already reversed course. Over the top, he'll hold it upside down like that for a moment, and then you'll see him roll it upright. You can listen to all of the narration from all of the acts, all of the music. You can hear it on 91.1. He calls this an over-the-top double reverse. You got somebody chasing you. It looks like you're going to rack the thing into a turn, and actually it's an inverted snap roll. As he continues out the right side, pulling back on the stick, the G-forces begin to build, and he's pulling hard. Notice there's not a whole lot of air between him and the ground when he comes out the bottom of the maneuver. Chuck's hard-way turn is a quarter roll, and then you watch he's going to do a 3/4 roll away, turn around and bring it back into our theater. You imagine that most people work on a very narrow stage. We have a stage here that's about 5 miles either side of center point and all the way to the horizon. And when you have no clouds, you couldn't ask for a prettier set. Making the climbing turns over on the left side, and I've flown with Chuck, and he just loves to fly upside down. And of course, Frank, I never have to cinch myself into the airplane that hard. And there's nothing like turn upside down and not having the shoulder harnesses snug. There's a minimum radius turn. You can just about do that inside a building. And you'll watch him as he continues up. That's a beautiful picture right there with nothing but blue sky behind it. The only thing that's not blue is the smoke from his own smoke system. And you understand that the smoke in these airplanes is created by an airshow smoke system that takes a very lightweight of machine oil, about a 3-weight oil that's highly gradable, and injects it via a pump into the final stage of the exhaust. It has a very high flash point, so it doesn't burn, it smolders, and that's what leaves that trail of smoke across the sky. Again, at the far right side, switching the guns reverse into that hammerhead. Oh, I'm telling you, keep your eye on a Super Hornet when it comes out. That's something to behold, that airplane, and I'm sure glad it's ours. Lifting his nose into a 16-point hesitation. 4, 5, 6, 7, now 8 upside down. Horses for just a minute. There's 9, 10, 11, and 12, and 13, and 14, and 15, and 16. The reason he holds it upside down in just a moment is to make sure that the nose is still above the horizon. If it isn't, he can actually make a correction by pushing the stick forward. Here comes Andrew Cannon. Hello again. The fighter roll, turning it around, bringing it back in here. As he does the re-engage time, the fighter roll is an inverted to inverted roll, and it's fun to do. And I cannot do it without pulling out of the sky. So that's where he starts. And there's the roll. And actually blocks it up. And not only that, but he likes it upside down so much he pushes the stick forward and starts to climb out. Another couple of rolls onto the far right end. You watch him as he approaches 1,000 feet. He will go up to 2,000 feet to start the show, but then will actually work lower than that throughout the rest of his performance. And you get the weather that's just warm, and that starts to kill off some of the lift in the air, something that you have to bear in mind. Watch as he's doing the Warrior photo pass as he comes back and lifts the nose, rolls it into knife-edge flight, and kicks his runners back and forth. And you watch as he's saying, I'm up here and you're not. Yeah. Oh, there he is. He'll turn around over the far left side of the field and the F-260 lock on. A quarter steep turn, pull up over the top of 1.5 rolls. As we mentioned before, this is something you can fly in your computers at home. As a matter of fact, if you happen to have any of the James Combat simulations from Chuck's old sponsor, that's Chuck that flies through the opening right on your computer. There's the F-260 Warrior, comes motoring on through. And as you would when you're done with any computer game, you know how you too late. I heard somebody say it over there. That's exactly right. So Chuck is wrapped up as he flies that big barrel roll, caps it off, snaps it one time, and says, well, we still got some gas. I still got a little bit of smoke oil, but I think it's time to put the puppy to sleep. So he's going to do that right now, come back around and put it on the ground for us. As the FA-122 out here, you see the Hornet, the Super Hornet sitting out here on the right side, is about to perform. And we're just watching as Chuck is making the turns out here. Oh man, is that pretty. And this thing is about as docile as you can imagine to fly as a normal private airplane or general aviation aircraft. It's comfortable and it's fun and it goes pretty good on a trip. We can back the music out now if you would. We can back that music out. Will you do that, please? And let Chuck make a turn out here in front of us in the F-260 Warrior. This is a concept that he actually put together 2 years ago, and you can see the shark's teeth, and as he goes by, you would see the rocket mounts and the gun mounts on the airplane on the F-260 Warrior as he taxis by. Chuck's going to be heading home shortly. Once you pick up the music, as a matter of fact. Chuck is going to be heading right home, and he'll be home by about the time the Blue Angels are flying today. Give him a great big wave, would you? He did a nice job out there for you, and it's kind of fun to watch that plane fly. Chuck Lischer from Cameron Park. Oh, man. Were you flying yesterday?
Yes, sir, I was.
Crank his mic up a little more, if you would, please. Crank his mic up. All right, there we go. Let's try this again.
How's that, Frank?
That's good. That's good. Here, you want to hold